Do they love to win or do they hate to lose? Do they like public recognition or do they prefer the private recognition? Do they like to compete with others or do they prefer to compete with themselves? What kind of pressure do they respond to best? A lot of times people assume that salespeople are motivated by money, but that's not actually the case. And it doesn't always work when you put a contest together to motivate the whole team. 20 years of research by academics and psychologists and neuroscience have still not found that one secret way to motivate everyone. In fact, research in achievement motivation that was done in 2001, that people who would rather not lose, they're running away from failure. And it shows that they have significantly higher anxiety levels and performance issues when they become under that pressure. So a contest with a public leaderboard as to who's winning could actually demotivate those people who have a tendency to hate to lose. But people who love to win, they're going to be motivated by that. In fact, the research shows that those types of people have 23% better performance outcomes and maintain higher levels of intrinsic motivation when they're facing those kinds of challenges. And what's more, you're going to have different motivational types on your team. But you can also determine what is the motivational type that's going to work best for your culture and your team so that you can start to screen and hire for that type of motivation. However, if you need to have different type of motivational styles in your company, then be prepared to offer different types of incentives that are going to appeal to each of those tendencies or group of tendencies. Don't just assume that one way is going to motivate everyone. Find out how they're motivated first. Those who love to win, they want to go after their goal. And it's what psychologists call a challenge mindset rather than a threat mindset. Understanding the kind of mindset that your team has, whether they love to win or hate to lose, is going to be key as to whether or not a contest is going to incentivize them or de-incentivize them. You're either going to be causing a problem or you're going to actually be encouraging them to work more. So it's worth finding out. But I think it's also important for entrepreneurs to understand and salespeople to understand for themselves, because that's how you want to then set up your support system, your accountability, and even how you kind of define your goals. Do I love to win or do I hate to lose? And how do you recognize that? So I don't mind losing. Like, that just means it's like, okay, I didn't win. So how am I going to get better so that I can win? It's the win where you know that you've been the best that you can be, that you've actually done the thing. That's where I get the high from. That's where I get the dopamine hit from. So I think it's just a matter of thinking about what really drives you, and then also consider, and I don't know if one is better than the other. Like if it's better to love to win or to hate to lose. I think it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. You have to be willing to fail because you're going to fail. And so that you might be better suited for a role or a type of a career where you don't have to take as many risks and you don't have to worry about losing, but that you are motivated to be the best at something. So ask yourself, are you someone who hates to lose or are you someone who loves to win? And how does that impact you and how you drive towards your goals? Are you running away from failure, which can after a while seem exhausting, or are you running towards a goal, which can be exhilarating?